You've been strong for a long time, not in a loud way, not in a way that gets noticed. Strong in the way where things kept moving because you did. Strong in the way where stopping never felt like an option. Strong even on days when you didn't feel like yourself anymore. People may see you as steady, capable, reliable, but what they don't see is how long you've been carrying that role, how strength slowly became something you wear, even when it's heavy, even when it presses into places you don't talk about. You might still be functioning, still showing up, still doing what needs to be done, and yet something feels quietly worn down, not broken, just tired in a way rest hasn't fully touched. If this feels familiar, you're not imagining it, and there's more here worth staying with. There's nothing wrong with you for feeling this way. This kind of tiredness doesn't come from doing one hard thing. It comes from doing many things without ever fully setting them down. You didn't choose this strength because it felt good. You learned it because it worked, because being steady kept things from falling apart, because someone had to hold the line. Over time, that kind of holding becomes automatic. You don't check in with yourself anymore, you just keep going. And when the numbness shows up, it can feel confusing. You might wonder why rest doesn't feel restful, why quiet doesn't feel calming. That doesn't mean you're ungrateful. It doesn't mean you're weak. It means your system has been on for a long time. Nothing here needs fixing right now. Nothing needs to be solved. This is just a space where what you feel is allowed to exist. At some point, strength stopped being something you did and started being something you were expected to be. It happened quietly. No announcement, no agreement you remember signing. You noticed that when you stayed calm, things worked better. When you didn't need much, there was less tension. When you handled it yourself, no one worried. So you learned, you adjusted, you became the one who could take more. Not because you didn't have limits, but because showing them felt inconvenient or unsafe or simply unnecessary at the time. Over time, people began to rely on that version of you, the capable one, the composed one, the one who doesn't fall apart. And being needed can feel grounding. It can give you a sense of purpose, but it can also slowly replace being understood. You might notice that conversations stay on the surface, that people ask how you're doing, but don't stay long enough for the real answer. That it feels easier to keep things light than to explain what's actually happening inside. This isn't a failure of communication. It's a role that formed through repetition, through doing what worked again and again. And roles like that don't disappear on their own. They settle in, quietly. When you don't stop, your body finds other ways to cope. Not dramatic ones, subtle ones. Feelings flatten out, reactions soften, things that used to matter feel distant, even when you know they should matter. You might still be productive, still reliable, still doing what's expected, but the connection to yourself feels thinner, like you're watching your own life from a small distance. Present, but not fully inside it. This isn't collapse, it's conservation. When there's never space to recover, your system learns to reduce output, not to punish you, to protect you. So joy becomes quieter, frustration becomes muted, needs become easier to ignore. And because nothing is visibly wrong, it can be hard to explain, hard to justify, hard even to name. You may tell yourself it's not that bad, that others have it worse, that you should be able to handle this. But this kind of wear doesn't announce itself loudly. It accumulates, moment by moment, day by day. If you're still listening, It means some part of you knows this isn't the full story yet. There's more underneath this pattern, and we're not done looking at it. For many people who have been strong for a long time, rest doesn't feel neutral, it feels risky. Slowing down can bring up a quiet fear that if you stop holding everything together, something will fall apart. That if you let yourself feel fully, it might be too much. Strength becomes more than behavior. It becomes identity. The one who handles things, the one who stays steady. So rest can feel like losing yourself, like stepping away from the role that made you valuable, even when you're exhausted by it. You might notice that stillness makes you uneasy, that unstructured time feels uncomfortable, that doing nothing feels heavier than doing too much. This isn't because you don't know how to rest. It's because your system learned that staying alert was safer, that being prepared mattered, and when something has protected you for a long time, it's hard to release it, even gently, even temporarily. So you stay in motion, not because you want to, but because slowing down feels unfamiliar. If any of this lands, you're not failing at rest. You're responding to what once kept you going. There's nothing wrong with that. There's a kind of strength that doesn't look impressive from the outside. It doesn't announce itself. It doesn't get praised. It's the strength of staying present while tired, of continuing while unsure, of carrying responsibilities without much space to set them down. You may not recognize this as strength because it never felt intentional. It just became normal, the baseline. But endurance takes effort, even when it's quiet, even when it's invisible, especially when it goes unacknowledged. You learned how to manage your reactions, how to stay composed, how to move forward without asking for much. That took awareness, it took control, it took resilience that wasn't celebrated because it didn't disrupt anything. And being strong this way doesn't mean you're unbreakable. It means you adapted. You found a way to keep going with what you had. This kind of strength doesn't disappear if you soften. It doesn't vanish if you pause. It isn't fragile. It's part of you, not something you have to prove. You don't need to justify how long you've been carrying things. The weight was real, even if no one named it. If you're still here, it says something quietly important. Not that you're searching for answers, but that you're allowing yourself a moment of recognition. There are many people who know this kind of strength, the quiet kind, the kind that doesn't get named because it keeps everything running. You don't have to explain yourself here. You don't have to make sense of it perfectly. Just noticing that this experience exists can be enough for now. If a word or feeling has been forming as you listen, you can hold it gently. You don't need to do anything with it yet. Just let it be present. We're not closing anything yet. There's still space ahead. You don't have to stop being strong all at once. Nothing here is asking you to drop everything you've been carrying. There's no sudden release required. It's enough to let the weight shift just slightly, to notice that you don't have to brace every moment. That strength doesn't disappear when you soften your grip. You've been holding things together for a long time, and that matters, even if no one said it out loud. What you're feeling isn't a sign that you're failing. It's a signal that you've been enduring, that your system has been asking quietly for a little more room. You're allowed to take pauses that don't fix anything. You're allowed to rest without earning it. You're allowed to be steady and tired at the same time. Nothing about you needs to be proven tonight. Nothing needs to be resolved before you move on. For now, it's enough to know this. You don't have to carry everything alone in every moment. And even here, just listening, you're allowed to be held by the quiet. Take this calm with you, not as an ending, just as a softer place to stand.